Hello there, I'm Thomas. This is the British American pilot flying the Boeing 777-300ER into nice flight. We're gonna be overflying Zurich, Switzerland, Germany, and then coming back to the Zurich International Airport, runway 14 for an ILS localizer landing. So right now I'm in the cockpit for the pre-takeoff preparation of the Boeing of the PMC simulation, the Microsoft Flight Simulator X Boeing 777-300ERX. So I'm gonna start showing you the cockpit instruments that displays and the functions of the Boeing 777-300ER airliner aircraft. I'm gonna start with the primary flight display. The primary flight display that displays the airspeed indicated, the ground speed, the airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the radio altitude above the ground level, the magnetic heading and tracking, the magnetic north pole and true north pole, and the magnetic variation depending on where we are in the world. We have also the barometric pressure above the sea level, the barometric altitude above the sea level, the outside barometric pressure, and the target altitude selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel. We have the vertical rate of climb or descent of the aircraft in tens of hundreds of thousands of feet per minute. And also the pitch ladder in degrees, 2.5 degrees tick mark, and you can see 10-20 degrees plus or minus for climb or descent of the pitch attitude of the aircraft, and also the bang angle of the aircraft as it turns. So we have the attitude indicator. Also we have the ILS localizer crossbars, and we have also the flight director crossbars for manual guidance of the aircraft, and the autopilot crossbar for automatic guidance of the aircraft. We have also the angle of attack of the aircraft as it flies. We have the flight mode annunciator with the autopilot and the auto throttle, later on vertical navigation modes. So you can see the takeoff go around now. Over here displayed, you can see the primary flight display and the navigation display, the upper and the lower ACAS and indication controller system displaying the autopilot and flight director system panel, the thrust levers, also the flaps and the slots over here, the speed brake and the horizontal trim stabilizer, and the flight controls here, the yoke of the Boeing 777. Also the rudder pedals, you can steer the vertical stabilizer, the vertical tail of the aircraft like this, using the rudder pedals left and right. So we have also the navigation display. The navigation display that displays the airport, the waypoints, the navigation fixes, the GPS and the inertial reference position of the aircraft. We have the NP and the RNP, the acquired navigation performance and the required navigation performance. You can see the weather and terrain reflections from the weather radar, so you can see the terrain elevation and the distance in the radar display. You can see also other aircraft flying our own aircraft using the transponder transmitter receiver, the ADC and ADC that transmits and receives our own frequency, receives from other aircraft, and makes the calculations for the distance, the altitude difference, the direction, and the airspeed of the other incoming aircraft. So you will see the warning of the TICA system, the traffic collision and alert system displayed in the navigation display. We have also the names of the airports. We have the distance ring. We have the magnetic north pole and the true north pole and the magnetic variation again, depending on where we are in the world. You can see the depiction of all these things in like 90 degrees left and right, and also we have the wind speed direction and vector. We have also the ground speed of the aircraft and the next waypoint we did on the other fine. Also, we're gonna see later, we're gonna have the route displayed in the navigation display. We're gonna use the flight management computer to input all the data of the aircraft, and we're gonna select the departure airport runway, the runway conditions, if it is dry, wet or ice, the wind direction and speed, also the barometric pressure and the air density and the temperature of the air, and also the flaps and slats we're gonna use for takeoff, and also the horizontal trim stabilizer position for takeoff is gonna be calculated from the flight management computer by we're gonna input all the data of the aircraft, like the takeoff weight, that includes the empty weight plus the passenger and the cargo on board, and plus the trip fuel and the taxi fuel and the reserve fuel. So we're gonna have the calculations for the takeoff speed, the V1, V rotating, V takeoff, and also other data. We're gonna input the departure, airport and runway, departure seats. The seats are the standard instrument departure fixes and waypoints. We're gonna use some intermediate waypoints and fixes for the destination route and airport, and we're gonna have the stars, the standard terminal arrival fixes and waypoints, and also we're gonna select the arrival, runway, and airport, and maybe an Lszh localizer for the runway. So we're gonna use both the same runway for this flight. You're gonna see later. We're gonna complete the whole flight in the end of the video. So we're gonna have also I'm gonna show you later the autopilot and flight director system panel, the FDS that contains the autopilot engage and disengage switch, the auto throttle left and auto throttle right engage and disengage switch, the flight director engage and disengage switch, the airspeed select knob. We're gonna select an airspeed in nautical miles per hour knots for max speed, and we have the flight level change, the auto throttle with the speed mode and the climb continuous mode. Also we have the LNAV and the VNAV, the lateral navigation and vertical navigation, which are interconnected with the flight management computer. Route and flight plan. We're gonna create a flight plan or a flight path, complete route. So this is gonna be followed from the autopilot and flight director using the flight management computer and the LNAV and the VNAV. So we have for the airspeed selection knob, we have two main modes for the thrust commanded by the engines. FADECs, the FADECs are the full authority digital electronic control computers. I will explain you later. So when we command the auto throttle, or we can use manual thrust by moving the thrust levers manually. We can disconnect the auto throttle by pressing the auto throttle disconnect switch in the thrust levers. We can take the thrust command manually. So we have two main modes. We have the fixed thrust, like the climb continuous for takeoff, go run, and the climb for the cruise altitude, and also we have which is fixed thrust mode, and also we have the idle thrust for descent, which is also fixed thrust mode. So in the fixed thrust mode, the thrust of the engines produced is constant, and the airspeed is being adjusted by varying the rate of climb or descent of the aircraft in terms of how steep the aircraft climbs or descent in a trigonometric angle, like 3 degrees of climb or descent, or in tens and hundreds and thousands of feet per minute in a vertical speed rate mode. So the autopilot and flight director system panel will command the horizontal stabilizer, the auto trim system of the horizontal tail of the aircraft, and the elevator to increase or decrease the rate of climb and descent of the aircraft to vary the airspeed while it maintains a constant fixed thrust. Also we have the variable thrust mode, like the cruise and the approach and landing, in which the aircraft maintains a horizontal flight path, and the airspeed is being varied by increasing or decreasing the thrust from the engines. So we have also the bank angle limit select knob for cruise. We have also the heading select knob and the heading hold switch. We have the vertical rate of climb and descent of the aircraft in tens, hundreds of thousands of feet per minute. We can select also, this is the VS mode. We have also the FPA, the flight path angle mode. We can select a steep angle of climb or descent in a trigonometric angle in degrees. We have also the altitude select knob and the altitude hold switch. We have the VOR localizer and also the Lszh localizer for approach, and also the approach switch for the auto launch function of the Boeing 777-300ER. Then I'm gonna show you the thrust levers. I will explain you how we can adjust the thrust produced from the engines by varying, increase or decrease the position of the thrust levers angle. which gives a command to the FADEX. The FADEX are the full authorities electronic control computers. So we have the G90 General Electric 90 turbofan turbojet engines installed in this aircraft, the Boeing 777-300ER. So this is a turbojet aircraft. We have also we can interconnect the autopilot and the auto throttle system, and the LNAV and the VNAV, and the airspeed select knob for to select an airspeed and a thrust mode to control the engine's thrust rate, or EPR if we use the other engines like the Rolls Royce or the Pratt. When we need this, we have the N1, the N2, which is the low speed starter and stuff, and low pressure compressor and turbine, and also the high speed starter and stuff, and high pressure compressor and turbine rates, the N1 and the N2. You will see later in the ACAS. Here is the ACAS, the upper and the lower. You can see the display of the thrust levers. If you move the thrust levers, you will see the thrust produced over here. I'll talk to you about later. So then we will come to the flight controls. I'll talk you about the flight theory of the aircraft, how we're gonna calculate the takeoff speeds and the weight of the aircraft, the flaps and the horizontal trim stabilizer. I will show you the flight controls, the control column that controls the horizontal tail of the aircraft, the elevator, also the horizontal trim stabilizer, which adjusts the position of the horizontal tail, and also we have the control wheel for the ailerons and the spoilers in the left and the right wing, and also the rudder pedals for the vertical stabilizer of the aircraft. We have also the tiller for the nose wheel steering in the ground. As you can see here, we have the yoke, the control column, and the control wheel. We can bunker left and right using the control wheel, and also climb or descend using the control column. And also we have the rudder pedals left and right, which are used for steering the aircraft in flight. Then I will talk to you about the overhead panel. I will show you the electrical system, the hydraulic, the ADIRU, the air data user reference unit, the primary flight control computers, the fuel system, and the bleed air from the left and right engine. So we have the electrical system. We have the left and the right engine contains a gearbox with IDGs, the grid drive generators, which produce alternate current 120 to 200 volts, 400 Hz frequency alternate current. Also we have three-phase alternate current. We have 120,000 kilovolts or 120,000 watts from either left and right engine IDG. We have also the backup generators, 25,000 kilovolts, and we have the APU, the auxiliary power unit, which is a small air turbine we need for starting the engines in a cold and dark aircraft, another 120,000 kilovolts or 102,000 watts of alternate current. We have also the batteries, 28 volts, 48 hours direct current. We have also the hydraulic system, the left and the right engine drive, and the electrically pressurized pumps, and also the air pressurized. We have the C1 and the C2, when we have 3000 psi of hydraulic fluid pressure in the left, the right, and the C1 and the C2. We have also the ADIRU, the air data and Lszh reference unit, that controls and displays all the air data you see, like the airspeed, the pitot static, and the pitot anemometric for the airspeed calculations as we climb or descend, and the barometric altitude and the rate of climb and descent. This is displayed from the ADIRU, the air data inertial reference unit, and the IRS system, the inertial reference system, the controls the GPS receivers and the inertial reference position of the aircraft, also the gyroscopic acceleration and deceleration, the magnetic north or geographic north, and the attitude of the aircraft using the laser gyroscopes. Also we have the angle of attack of the aircraft at rise, and we have all this in the ADIRU. Also later we have also the air data computer. So we have the electronic engine control for the engine, the left and the right, the auto start of the engines. We can dump some fuel in flight. I will show you the fuel. This one we have also the left and the right wing fuel tank, the center tank, and the forward and the aft fuel booster pumps. We have the low and the high pressure fuel valves for the left and the right engine, and the fuel cutout switch, and we can use it in there for controlling the flow of the engine or cut it off, so we can turn off the engine with that. We have also the crossfeed valves to balance the fuel between the left and the right wing, or use it as a backup if we lose our fuel pump. So in either left or right wing. So we have also the bleeder, the pressurizer from the left and the right engine. Use it for hydraulic fluid pressurization, wing and engine APIs, air conditioning and ventilation, also for the cabin pressurization. And we need the APU, the auxiliary power unit. This is a smaller turbine I explained you. We need for starting the engine in the ground. We admit pressurizer from that also. And we have also the cabin pressurization system and the wing and engine APIs. So this is all the systems I will show you. Thank you very much one more time for joining me in this flight. I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot flying the Boeing 777-300ER Z aircraft into night flight. So I will start now. I will show you. We're gonna start with the primary flight display here. You can see all around the aircraft, the cockpit. Hope you like it. You can see also the outside view of the aircraft. And we just spotted an aircraft coming in, so I will show you now maybe the first function. You can see we have the transporter, the ADS-B and ATC. We can see an aircraft coming in. You can see it also in the display here. So it's displayed with this diamond over here. It's 2,700 feet above our aircraft, and it's coming in this direction. It's like 7.5 nautical miles now at this distance. So it will come closer and closer. So I will start showing now. You can see it also in front of you. So you can see here is the primary flight display. You can see the airspeed indicated, the airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel. We have also the ground speed, the radio altitude above the ground level, magnetic north pole and true north pole, magnetic variations here, and the magnetic track. We have also the barometric altitude setting above the sea level, and the target altitude selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel. We have also the vertical rate of climb and descent of the aircraft, so you can see the aircraft climb here or descend. You will see the needle moving up or moving down. Either way, if we climb or we descend. We have the barometric pressure here, 39.92 inches of mercury. The pitch ladder in degrees. Here you can see 2.5 degrees tick marks for climb or descent, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 17, 15, 7.5 and 20, plus or minus. You can see also the bank angle, the flight director, the angle of attack of the aircraft, and the go around mode. So now you can see the aircraft here is closer and closer. It's plus 1,000 feet above us. You will see also the warning, and it's coming in this direction. It's 2.5 nautical miles away. You can see the red beacon here is coming in. So you will see it in a couple of minutes. So you can see it over here displayed with this diamond, and it's moving down towards our position. It's gonna come for landing. Now it's 600 feet or 200 meters above our own aircraft, and it's like about 1.5 nautical miles to 2 nautical miles away, plus 500 feet, plus 400 feet, plus 300, Now it's yellow. You can see the warning. You can turn also into red. You can see it's 300, 200 feet. So this now is in front of us. So here it is. You can see it coming in. So this is the warning for another aircraft coming in, colliding. So you have to pay attention to that, to the traffic over here. As you can see, we have the traffic, another aircraft spotted. So you can see still here, see it here in the GPS. We have also told you about most of these things. Now we'll show you the navigation display. You can see the range here change, so you will see more airports. You can see the terrain level. You can see we have 6,100 maximum, with red is the Swiss Alps, the mountains, and the yellow is intermediate, and 0 feet is over here the valleys. So here you can see is France, here is Germany, this area, and this is Switzerland. So you can see the airport names, the distance rig 160, 320, and also the magnetic heading is 320 degrees. And you can see 33, 36 degrees, or 30 or 27 over here. You can see the magnetic north. We can set also the geographic north over here, like this. Now you will see the true display. So this is the geographic north pole for navigation. We have also the meters and the inches of mercury over here in the hectopascals. So you'll see 1013 hectopascals over here for the barometric pressure altitude setting. Also the meters 3050, the target, and 436 are on airport. So we keep having about 50 more minutes for this flight. So I will have to be a little bit more brief. I will show you all the systems. So now we'll have to go on the autopilot and flight director system panel. You will see here we have the auto throttle left off. You will see auto throttle over here left off. With yellow, we have also the auto throttle right off, or both off or on. So you will see the auto throttle right now. So now both on. Also the airspeed here, we can select the flight level change, or turn off the flight director like this switch here. So you can see the autopilot also is working. So you can see we get the airspeed or Mach, and we can set the autopilot disengage like this. So if we press this switch out, it will disengage the autopilot. You will see the warning, and now the autopilot is disconnected. Over here, autopilot disconnect. So we can press the autopilot on again, leave that inside. And we can also set the autopilot disconnect by pressing this small switch here. Press it one more time. It will deactivate the autopilot, and the second time we confirm the disconnection, and it cancels the warning. The autopilot disconnect right now. So I will show you now. We can select an airspeed, maybe for takeoff. I will set it is higher, flying faster. We have the LNAV, the VNAV, heading and track here. The bank goggle also. How many degrees hold, select and deselect. So this is the press hold, as you can see. This is Also the threshold. You can select up or down. So we set this like this. How many degrees we need. So I will set it to 160, 146 actually. So we're gonna set this 136 for the heading of the runway. We're gonna use for takeoff also. The climb here to the 5,300. We have the hold like this, so we can select either mode. We will set the autopilot on. Now you will see the autopilot here engaged. So we have this mode. The autopilot is on. This target airspeed and this target altitude now 35,300 feet or 7,710 meters from this takeoff altitude, and the flight level changes with the track hold. We can set the heading hold like this heading. So now we have the heading hold. So we have almost all the modes, nothing different. So we have also heading, altitude. We can set the altitude hold with the autopilot or the flight director. So now we have the altitude hold, and we can set the vertical rate of climb and descent. So you will descend, you will set something like this from the cruise level, using this slider to adjust how fast you want to climb or descend. So you will see the purple here is a descent, 3,500 feet per minute. Now you will see the climb. So you will see the plus instead of the minus, like this here, and you can say how fast you want to climb or descend. So you have it here, plus 3,500 feet per minute. You can also set the rate of climb descent in terms of trigonometric angles, steep angles. So you will see minus now for a descent, minus 3.5 degrees. You will descend from the cruise level like this, and you will see the purple here displayed below the horizon line. You command descent from the cruise level, so you see the difference here later when I show you the climb. So you can see now we have the FPA here at off angle. So we can set now like this, move it up. Then you can see plus 3,500 feet per minute. So you see the climb now over here displayed in this purple line. So this is gonna be our climb rate, 3.5 degrees with this target airspeed, this target altitude, and the flight PA and the heading hold. So we can set also other things. I told you we have the flight level change, it's gonna set the same things. Again, it's gonna have flight level change, speed, heading hold, and you're gonna have this purple over here, the command rate for climb, like before. So I will show you now the thrust levers. We did everything about the autopilot. We have also the other flight director on the wall, the approach, altitude hold over here. So you see the altitude like heading, and also the autopilot, the disconnect like this. Press out this switch, you will see. Again, we don't need the autopilot, we have it off. Autopilot disconnect. So the warning, cancel the warning, and we have the flight director now. Crossbars over here again. The same modes. You can select the flight level change instead of the altitude. You will have the same rate of climb or descent. Now I'm gonna show you the thrust levers, the overhead panel later, and the yoke, the control. So we have about less than 25 minutes for that. So you can see here we have the flaps position, extend and retract. Now it's retract. The speed brakes up and down. You can extend the speed brakes when the thrust levers are idle. When you move the thrust levers forward from idle and you have the speed brakes extended, it will retract the speed brakes automatically. So you can do that every time you have the thrust idle here. We have also the horizontal tail of the aircraft over here. You see the speed brakes extend and retract like this. Speed brakes up and down. So this the speed brakes command. And also this is the ailerons left and right for the speed brakes. So this makes these things like this. You move the control column, control wheel. So you can also use this, and you see this moving up and down the horizontal tail, up and down, and all the flight control. Also the rudder pedals like this. We have also the rudder pedals, the tail of the aircraft. So this is all the flight controls you need to have. I will show you how to control them later. So we have the thrust levers, the horizontal trim stabilizer here. You can pitch up and pitch down the horizontal tail of the aircraft. You will see the horizontal trim stabilizer position here. The parking brakes up and down. The green band is for takeoff. Also you set manual and alternate trim position. And we have also the autopilot and the auto throttle with the auto trim function. So we have a failure of this, or the hydraulic system, the C1 and the C2 over here. You can see also the electrical, so we have a failure C1, C2, C or R, I believe. So we lose the horizontal trim tail stabilizer. We have to use this to cut out from the normal, so you're gonna lose the auto trim system from the autopilot and the auto throttle. So you're gonna keep having the manual trim stabilizer like this. If you want to trim the tail up or down, you will have also the alternate. So we'll leave this closed. We have also the rudder, the vertical stabilizer trim over here, in the ailerons and the spoilers. The radio and communication panel, the weather radar, the transporter, the DSP and ATC transporter. This is the fuel flow to the left and right engine. Control switch, the fire extinguishers, the left and right. The auto throttle disconnect like this. Disconnect the auto thrust. The takeoff go around switch. The flaps position up and down as I told you. Speed brakes extend and retract. The thrust reverse. So you have the speed brakes up and you move the thrust reverse, you will also move the speed brakes to extend. So you open the blocker doors and you reverse the flow of the air over here, so you can slow down the aircraft like this by opening the blocker doors. So you can see how the thrust reversers work. Again, you use the other side like this, extend and close them one more time, and extend. So this is all for the thrust reversers. So we have about 30 minutes more. So we have also, as I told you, we can cancel the thrust reverse, the takeoff go around, the auto throttle disconnect like this. We have the engine information. We have also some switches here. You can see the flaps position here displayed in the landing gear. So you can move the landing gear up and down. Also the alternate gear, the terrain override, the lock override over here, the flaps, and also the auto brakes, the flaps limit and the auto brake here, automatic braking, reject the takeoff. We have the upper and the lower ACAS displays the systems of the aircraft and the warnings. So you can see also the fuel on board, 102.7 thousand pounds in the temperature of the fuel, also the bleed air from the left and the right engine. And we have all the information. You can see also the standby instruments here. And we have the N1, which is the left and the right engine, the low speed starter inside, the low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbocharged engine, the exhaust gas temperature per engine, the bleed air from the left and right engine, and the cabin altitude rate, the N2, which is the high speed starter inside, the high pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbocharged engine, the left and right engine, the fuel flow per engine per hour, the oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, and the vibration of the engine. We're gonna have also other systems displayed. So you can see we can move either thrust lever forward. We have symmetric thrust like this. You will see one engine at a time. The right is more thrust now, or we can set both together, and we can move the other engine if we need asymmetrical thrust. So you see the left engine now more thrust, and we set them both together in the same position. So we have about 17 more minutes. So we have the turbofan turbocharged engine, the General Electric 90. So I will talk to you about the turbofan turbocharged engines. We have the G90 General Electric 90 installed in this aircraft, the Boeing 737-300ER, one in the left wing, one in the right wing, symmetrical thrust and data sheets. It contains a gearbox and the FADEX. The FADEX are the full authority digital electronic control computers installed, one per engine gearbox, and dual channel redundancy, one channel phase, controls, monitors, and displays all the data you see about the engine's functions, like the N1, which is the low speed starter inside, the low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbocharged engine, the exhaust gas temperature per engine, the N2, which is the high speed starter inside, the high pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbocharged engine, the fuel flow per engine per hour in thousands of pounds right now, or thousands of kilograms, the oil temperature, oil quantity, oil pressure, and also the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine in terms of horizontal safety and inches. We have also the fuel metering unit and also the pressure inside the engine. We have an overpressure, the FADEX command, the outflow valves, the 59 stage of the starter into a higher setting, open, so you can relieve the overpressure from inside the engine. If we have an underpressure, you can close the outflow valves into a lower setting, so it increases the pressure inside the engine. You can also, if we climb from the sea level into higher levels like 20, 30 or 40,000 feet above the sea level in the cruise altitude, we have a barometric pressure and barometric pressure, also the air density and the temperature of the air is much lower, and also the oxygen level and the temperature of the air is much lower than that of the sea level. So the barometric pressure and the air density and the oxygen level is less than half that of the sea level. Also the temperature is freezing and the aircraft flies like 2 or 3 times the rate of the airspeed in the sea level. So we have different fuel or mixture requests every second as the aircraft flies into higher altitudes or it descends into lower altitudes. So this is being adjusted by the FAREX, also the fuel flow as I told you, and the engine failures or whatever else. So it's a good thing to have the FAREX installed in your turbojet engines. So we have 15 minutes. So I will talk to you now about the flight theory of the aircraft, about the Newton's first, second and third law of kinematics of motion, about the Bernoulli theory of fluids motion and aerodynamics and aeronautical and aerospace engineering. Also you how the aircraft produces lift using its aerodynamic flow around the wings and also the pressure difference. We have higher pressure below the wings and lower pressure above the wings as the aircraft flies, so it produces the aerodynamic lift which overcomes the weight of the aircraft in flight. So also the thrust from the engine overcomes the static and the kinetic friction on the aircraft wings. So we have also I will talk to you about the takeoff speed. We have 254,000 kilograms of takeoff weight for this flight, or about 521,000 pounds, which is below the maximum takeoff weight. We have about 30% of fuel on board in the left and the right wing tank. The center tank is empty, so the fuel is balanced between the left and the right wing in terms of fuel quantity. Also we have less fuel than the maximum, so we have also 30,000 kilograms of passenger and cargo on board, and this is about 46,000 pounds. So in total we have 31,000 pounds, and this is about 245,000 kilograms. So we're gonna use for this runway we're gonna use 15 degrees of flaps and 4 degrees of horizontal trim stabilizer. This is going to be adjust the mean aerodynamic chord position of the front wing in terms of the center of gravity and the tail, the horizontal tail trim position for takeoff to about 4.25 degrees of positive trim stabilizer position. So this is going to be completed using the flight management computer. I will show you now the FMC and the CDU, the control display unit of the FMC. So this is going to be done using these runway conditions, the runway length, the elevation above the sea level, the barometric pressure, the air density, the temperature of the air, and the wind direction and airspeed. Also if the runway is ice, dry or wet. And we're going to have all the data. So we have about 12 more minutes for making the flight. So I will show you a little bit about that. So you can see the thrust here produced from the engine moving forward the aircraft. We have the takeoff. We have the weight of the aircraft over the surface area of the wings. So this is what holds the aircraft in the air, the wings. So also we have the mean aerodynamic chord position. Over here the Mach 35% approximately is the position of the maximum aerodynamic lift of the aircraft wings for an airliner aircraft. It's also the position where the center of pressure occurs in the top of the wings. Also the maximum aerodynamic lift position, and also where the stall becomes occurs above the wings, where the airflow becomes detached above the wings and the aircraft starts to fall from the air. So this is the center of gravity over here, approximately position, and this is the lever arm. We have the longitudinal from the nose wheel to the tail of the aircraft, this vector from wingtip to wingtip, and the vertical through the transverse is the center of gravity. So this is the moment arm or the lever arm. It's times the distance using Newton's physics, times the distance from the center of gravity all the way back to the horizontal or vertical tail, times the airflow of the air mass per second over the surface area of the vertical or the horizontal tail, so times the acceleration of the air gravity, and we have the moment arm and the lever arm. Also we have, you can see the bottom surface of the wings is more flat, so the airflow of the air mass is moving faster below the wing. It's moving slower actually below the wings, so we have higher air pressure below the wings, which pressurizes the aircraft up into the air. Also the top surface of the wings is having higher curvature, so the airflow of the air mass is moving much faster above the wings, so this creates an air suction, a lower air pressure above the wings, which sucks the aircraft up into the air. So this is all the transfer of aeronautics and aerospace engineering. So now I'll show you as many as I can show in these small videos, and I'll show you now the side stick, how to control the flight controls in flight. So I use this Lszh string 3D, so you can see I can control the horizontal tail, the vertical tail, and the ailerons and the spoilers to have full flight controls. So you can see here I can pitch up and pitch down the aircraft, also bang roll left and bang roll right. So this is the horizontal tail position, and this is the left and right wing, and this is the vertical tail using the rudder pedals. You can see both are interconnected, the left and the right side. Also we have the thrust levers here. You can move the thrust levers up or down, forward or up, with the slider like this. Also the horizontal trim stabilizer position. So this is how you control the aircraft in flight, and we have the nose wheel steering over here, and you can see also the outside view. Again, how control, you can see the side stick deflection is proportional to the flight controls. So this is all for the flight controls. Now have to come in the overhead panel and make the engine start demonstration instead of the flight manual computer, and then make the small flight. So I'll come here in the overhead panel. You can see you can disconnect the hydraulic fluid from maintenance. We have the circuit breakers here for a nice view of the cockpit over here. We're gonna turn on the APU to start the engine, so shut down and start the engine. So we're gonna need the APU on. We have the dealer data and reference unit, the primary flight control computers, the fast asymmetry compensators, here on and off. The battery, the APU generator, and the left and right IGT. So this is the electric system diagram. We have the hydraulic. We can disconnect the hydraulic. You will see what happens over here. You will see the fault now coming up. And here we have the warnings, and we have alternate flaps here, and the autopilot disconnect, flight controls, hydraulic pressure, demand C1 speed. Gonna lose also the stabilizer and CNR, and it keeps coming up. All the systems that use hydraulic pressure. So we need to turn on back this system, and then to the auto. So we have the hydraulic pressure. So this is electrical, the hydraulic, the window heat, the passenger oxygen here. You can see this is the lighting of the aircraft, and the left and right wings, the wipers, the fire extinguishers also for the cargo and the APU, the electronic engine control for the engine alternate or normal, the auto start for the engine on and off. So we'll leave this like this for starting the engine. We can dump some fuel to lower the weight of the aircraft in terms if we need to make an emergency landing, or if we are overweight. The left and right wing tank, the center tank is empty. You can see the fuel booster pumps, the forward and the aft, and the crossfeed valves between the left and right wing, the wing and engine, the ADI system, the cabin pressurization here, the outflow valves, auto or manual, climb and descent, open and close the outflow valves and glides and descend to increase or decrease the pressure. Also select the landing altitude. We have the bleeder like this. The APU, we need the bleeder from the APU to start the engine, so we can turn off all of them. You will see the warnings coming in. All the systems are working. Bleed loss. We're gonna lose also the hydraulic fluid pressure and the pressurization of the cabin. So hydraulic pressure demands C1 and C2. We're gonna lose some hydraulics and no cabin pressurization like this. So we cannot. We need also for starting the engine. We need the sender one, the APU to start the engine. So we have only one last system before starting doing the auto start. So this is the flight management computer and the display of the lower system. So we have the engine, the status. You can see the APU start, the hydraulic pressure and the oxygen level, the checklist, the normal. The non-normal is we lose something. The system, communication. Synoptics, the doors are closed, the cabin is pressurized, the landing gear, you can see the temperature of the brakes and the pressure of the tires, the electrical, the left and the right engine, IDG, the backup generator and the APU is running. Also you can see the voltage here, the main battery and the APU battery, how many volts and if it is charged or discharged, hydraulic fluid, left and right, engine and C1 and C2, 3000 psi. Pressure and where the hydraulic fluid goes. You can see the shut-off valves in terms of an emergency. We have also the left and the right wing, the fuel on board, total fuel, and the center tank is empty. The cross-switch valves and the low and the high pressure for the left and the right engine. Also the APU is fed from the left wing tank using the DC motor, and you can see the minimum fuel temperature minus 37 degrees where the fuel becomes freeze. Also we have the left and right hydraulic, the pressurizer, excuse me. So also the APU, you can see if we move the 5 levers forward, it will increase the pressurizer, the outflow air. Also the flight controls, the last system you can see here. We can control and see all the flight controls are moving and working. Also the position of the stabilizer and the rudder trim. So this is all functioning correctly. We have no failure of this. So you will see all here displayed. Now we go back into the modes, the engine. We're going for an auto start, and we have a couple more. Turn off both. You will see the reset in the overhead panel. We lost some electric. Also over here the engine, left and right, 104.6, engine auto start, and engine shutdown here. You can see slowing down. Also the fuel flow. So we look outside, you will see both turbines slowing down but keep rotating right and left because there is some pressure from the APU. So we need to start this right now. Both fuel flow on. You will see the fuel flow increase from 0. So we have the engine spinning and the fuel flow and the N2 rises. So now we go the last step. The flight management computer very quickly. We're gonna set the route, FMC menu. So we have the position, universal reference position, the model, the zero fuel weight, gross weight of the reserves, 5,000, 5%, reserve fuel, and the cruise altitude 35,800, the cost index 100%, 100, minimum 100%. The route from this airport, Lszh, back to this airport. Lszh to Lszh, runway 14. Departure and arrival. Select the runway. These fixes and arrival. Lszh 14. Transnegri Alpha Transamity. And you have the route here. You cancel the discontinuity, activate and execute. So we have flaps position, 15 degrees of flaps, center of gravity 26% with V1, we rotate and V2 for this takeoff weight in this runway conditions and length. So disarm the parking brakes and advance the thrust levers and go. So we take the frequency, the air traffic control, the runway is clear and we can take off from this runway. We still use the nose wheel steering over here, like this. Also some parking brakes here, slow down, so you can see the runway is open, no traffic. Advance the throttle levers again. So we align with the runway like this, parking brakes again. The LNAV, the flaps position, set for takeoff 15 degrees, the horizontal trim stabilizer with advance the thrust levers, and also we need to decrease. You will see here different rates, radar scan. And also the thrust levers here, we increase the thrust levers position for takeoff. So we have only to disarm the parking brakes. So this is where we are right now and where we're going. And we have like 15 more minutes left for this flight. So we disarm the parking brakes and go. Also advance the throttle levers to full takeoff. Then we have the nose wheel steering like this. Using the rudder pedals, we have side wing to align with the runway. We have V1, we rotate, and V2, as you can see. We start the rotation, and here we go. We have the positive rate of climb. We track the landing gear and decrease a little bit the rate of climb to increase the airspeed. So you can see here the data of takeoff. We have the heli-hold level change, the airspeed 237. We are 2,000 feet above the ground, 2,400. About 4,500 feet above the sea level, and the rate of climb is 5,800 feet. You can see it's positive climb for this target altitude. Also the ground speed, the flaps retract position, and the flight plan of the aircraft. You can see also the engine rate here and the other part. So we keep climbing. We need to start now turning. Make the turn. And we have 14 more minutes. So this is where we are right now. I will keep climbing. So you can see also the stall speed here, the marking we need to avoid. below which the yellow and the red, the aircraft is gonna stall. So we also have to follow this flight plan, and we have like 13 more minutes for this flight. So we're gonna see also the runway. See as we climb out this beautiful view of the aircraft of the Boeing 777 300 ER. Hope you like it. We climb now and fly with about 550 or 600 kilometers an hour, or about 250 meters per second our speed right now. So we need to keep making a turn. One more turn as we climb out 14,000 feet. You can see Mach 0.4. You can see also the galaxy, this beautiful view, the star sign, and the whole of the Switzerland. So we're gonna keep climbing. We have some overspeed now, so we need to increase the rate of climb. So we need also the legs. So we are 19,000 feet above the ground level. Okay. So now we have the first waypoint here, and then we're gonna cross it and come into the second waypoint after that. So keep climbing. Gonna make another turn. So we have the German in front of us, the Bayern Munich. We're gonna have it like 80 nautical miles away from our point right now. Our position. Here is France, and here is the Switzerland this side. Make it fine. So we crossed 32,000 feet, and we need to steer into this waypoint over here. And we have 9 more minutes. So we are having now the centers and the contrails, and we're gonna start turning to the airport in a couple of seconds. So this is the beautiful view. This is our spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777. You can see the beautiful chemtrails and the contrails. We are 33,500 feet and cruising above. We have the lake, St. Gallen. We have the Germany in front of us, Bayern Munich. You can So this is the Boeing 777-300ER with the frozen vapors crossing the night sky above Switzerland, and we have the Germany, the Bayern Munich in front of us, and the France on this side. So we need to come back to the airport now, start steering to the right as we keep climbing. Also direct flaps up and increase the airspeed. So we hold over here and we have 8 more minutes. We're gonna make a sharp turn now, as you can see. You can see we hold 35,300 feet manually, flight director is on, autopilot, and this is the airspeed now. Now we're gonna retract all the flaps and increase the airspeed like this. So we're gonna have also the view outside, beautiful view, and we have 7 more minutes for this video to end. The lake, also the Bayern Munich, the Germany on this side. So this is the Boeing 777-300ER crossing with 300 meters per second or 900 kilometers per hour, 980 or Mach 0.77. So this is our spacecraft for tonight. We cross through the galaxy. So we go back into the cockpit and we have about 6 more minutes left. So we need to come faster into the airport. We can also set the autopilot on like this. Now we have the autopilot on and we steer into the waypoint. Autopilot on. So this is the autopilot on, 35,300 feet, and we're gonna start descending in a couple of minutes. So we're gonna select a lower airspeed and also the altitude difference here. And the vertical speed. And also extend the speed brakes as well. So we're gonna make a fast descent. And we have like 5 more minutes. I will keep descending, now going manually. So we keep descend, and we have 4.5 minutes for this video to end. 15,000. Keep descending. Landing gear extend. Just gonna slow us down. Select the lower airspeed also. And some flaps. As we descend, So we have 3 more minutes left, 10,000 feet. Descending. And we have 3 more minutes left for this flight. So we need to be landed by 3 more minutes. So here we are, having also simulation rate normal. So here we are, getting down to the airport. Once the thrust levers, and we have 2 more minutes left for this simulation to end, for this video actually to end, because I'm limited in terms of video time to record. So I need to increase the airspeed. I only have 1 hour 1740, so we need So this is how we use the Lszh localizer. You can see we are approaching the runway, and we only need to steer a little bit to the right, only a little bit. So we have manual flight guidance right now. We have 1 more minute for this. Hopefully it's gonna be recorded in the video before the video ends. We have exactly 1 minute left. So this is how we descend. Use manual flight controls and thrust levers, and align with the runway. And we have here we are, a small alignment, leveling off. 10. Here we are, parking brakes and reverse thrust. Idle thrust and full reverse. And here we are, we just touched down. As you can see, we made a beautiful landing, touchdown, and slowing down to the runway.